Hello everyone and welcome to the Maryville University pregame show brought to you by Wausau Homes. Tonight it's another chance for the Maryville Saints to try to pick up their first victory of the season, and they'll do so against one of their chief rivals, the McKendree Bearcats. These two teams played each other last week on a Wednesday midweek game, and it was a battle, but the McKendree Bearcats were victorious by the final score of 4-2 in that one. So a potential chance for redemption for your Saints here this evening. It's going to be all about consistency between these two teams, who can pick it up first and who will carry it through the longest. Both of these teams have had their struggles this year. McKendree comes in at 2-5, and as we mentioned, Maryville thus far is winless, as they have had their struggles in their first season in existence, but they've had some positives as well. They've hung in with some very tough teams, but they've also had some of those games that you'd like to forget, including 2 out of 3 games last weekend, which weren't necessarily the best results. Obviously, any result that you don't pick up a victory in is not necessarily what you want, but there are certain kinds of games that you can build off of, and we'll see whether or not Maryville can find one of those and even maybe pick up a W here this evening. Let's talk about your starters for this evening. For the Maryville Saints, in goal, it's going to be Sawyer Duncan, number 35. Up on defense, it'll be Maggie Brawley, joined by Emma Gerwitz. On the forward line, it is going to be Maddie Johnson, as well as Sydney Poisson, in reverse order there. And last but not least, it'll be Megan Flock on the forward line for the Maryville Saints, as they try to get things rolling with their first shift here tonight. Some of the keys for tonight for the Maryville Saints: they need to find that first period intensity that they found last weekend against the Midland Warriors. Obviously, it was very disappointing. Earlier in the weekend, they had a 7-1 loss, but a 3-2 loss in which they were actually ahead 2-0, in the first period. And they just couldn't necessarily sustain that for the full 60 minutes, ended up allowing a couple second period goals and then one in the third that would ultimately cost them the victory. But if they can find that same kind of intensity here this evening and get it from the get-go, then they might be able to knock off this McKendree team. Talking about consistency, and that has been the key all season long, regardless of whether we're talking about men, women, all levels, Division 1 through 3, whatever. Even between these two teams, finding consistency has been the key as to whether they've played well or not, and that's what you're going to find in any kind of collegiate level. It's the team that can find that consistent play, shift to shift, that ends up picking up a victory, and Maryville needs to do that tonight. String together a few good shifts right from the get-go, and then let that carry you out through the rest of the game. And last but not least, they need to play with nothing to lose, because basically at this point of the season, that's the way their opponents view them. They don't have a victory. You can catch a team that might be thinking that it's going to be an easy night. They're going to skate to an easy win. All they have to do is show up. Maryville has to come out, play with reckless abandon. Obviously, you need to stay within your system, stay with what the coach tells you in terms of the game plan, but you don't have a win thus far. Your opponent might come in with that in their mind, so maybe that's something that you can take advantage of and pick up a victory here tonight. We're just moments away from puck drop. We thank you for tuning in to the Wausau Homes pregame show. We'll have the McKendree Bearcats against your Maryville Saints coming up for you in just a moment. This is Maryville Saints hockey.
There's a super fun city, a quick getaway, where there's so much excitement you need more than a day. St. Louis is the stop for non-stop fun, so much fun for your family, infinity plus a ton. It's got works of wonder, things to wow your brain, an amazing pep performance all aboard all the trains. Some museums are historic, some hit the right blues note, maybe catch a cards game, whatever paddles your boat. Yeah, St. Louis is the stop for non-stop fun.
Visit us at ExploreSt.Louis.com for your chance to win a weekend of non-stop fun.
Maryville Saints Hockey Network welcomes you to the following presentation of the American Collegiate Hockey Association.
Hello, everyone, and welcome into the Maryville University Hockey Center side of tonight's exciting matchup between the McKendree Bearcats and your Maryville Saints. McKendree comes in with a 2-5 record, both victories coming against this very Maryville Saints squad. The Saints still looking for their first victory of the season. The Saints led by Tommy Lang. Derek Pallardy is behind the bench for the Bearcats. Your starters for this evening for McKendree, it's Brittany Koch, Jackie Leone, Cammie Carpenter, Lauren Davey, and Janie Smothers. In goal, it'll be Brianna Burke. And once again, reiterating the Saints starting lineup, it's Emma Gerwitz, Megan Flock, Sydney Poisson, Maggie Brawley, Maddie Johnson, and Sawyer Duncan between the pipes. The referees have gathered at center ice, the teams having their respective huddles, trying to get that last bit of energy before they drop the puck, and then you start the sweat. Maryville will be wearing their customary white jerseys with the red trim, countered by the purple with white stripes of McKendree. Gathered at center, ready to drop the puck. The referee checking with the scorer, and we're underway. Maryville ends up with possession, given away at center ice, but banged into the offensive zone by Flock. She's in on the chase, but McKendree wraps it around the boards. Smothers picks it up in the corner and tosses it over towards the near side. Bearcats look to get out of their own zone, but Gerwitz was there at the blue line to hold it in. Taken now by Davey as she skates in behind the cage, given away, but Maryville couldn't find a centering pass. Bearcats get it up the zone, but not out. Second opportunity and a third, still not out. Bouncing puck over near the Bearcats bench. McKendree with it below the end line once more. In on the forecheck, taking a spill is the Olivia O'Brien. She's back up, sees the puck wristed around her, tossed back into the corner by Gerwitz, as there's a fire wagon change going on for the Saints. A player down as well as some apparel. as that looks like Greenfield, who's a little bit shaken up. But she'll shake it off. She's a hockey player, as they say. And stay out on the ice to complete her shift. Face-off will be in the neutral zone just outside the McKendree line. O'Brien in for Maryville. Now the head official discussing things with Coach Pallardy. Maryville wins the draw. They've won a couple already in this game, and that's a good sign because sometimes they've struggled in the face-off dot. A little over a minute played. Collected by Brawley in her own zone. Tossed it up the far wall, but not out. Shot in from the point, goes wide. Duncan just kind of sticks it back towards the end line. Bearcats look to set it up, though. Scully spins away from the pressure. Skates out from the corner. One-timer in front. They score! Not quite 90 seconds in, and the McKendree Bearcats get the first goal of the game. A one-time shot in front by Juliana Davis. The goal comes at 1:24 of the first period. And after a few good shifts by Maryville, that's not necessarily the way you wanted things to go. Bearcats chop it back out towards neutral ice. Leone tapped it back towards her defense. But Maryville was able to meet it. Now skating up through the neutral zone. Smothers slides it into the offensive end for the Bearcats. Picked up and chopped up along the glass by Gerwitz. That goes out of play off the stick of Wasserman into her own bench, so that'll put the face-off inside the Maryville zone. Just a second shy of 2 minutes played here in the first period. The lone shot on goal for McKendree hit the back of the net. Full-scale line change for both teams. Bearcats win the face-off, looking to set it up from the blue line. A saucer pass finds Burbage. She skates into the circle. A shot in and a save by Duncan. McKendree will keep their same line out, as will the Saints. This time the Bearcats win the draw. Davis from the high slot, over towards the hash mark. Shot in, blocked by Gerwitz. Loose puck in behind the cage. Gerwitz ties up Davis. Tossed back out in front. Swept up the zone, not quite out yet. Skating up the near wing. In comes Poisson, and her wrist shot goes high and wide. Back out in front. Bouncing puck collected by the Bearcats. Held in along by Errand. She skates into the far corner. She's tied up along the end wall. Bearcats collect it, tossed out towards center as they were looking for a stretch pass. Too far out of the reach of Atchison, but she still had the break in towards goal and gets it in the corner. Centering pass finds a streaking defender. Up out of the offensive end. Suzuki. Centering pass, nobody home in the slot. Maryville collects along the near side wall, off the dashers and out. Just tapped around O'Brien. Back at the blue line now. It's with Brawley. She fires it in, and then it's stick to the corner by Burke. Suzuki, blind pass out of the zone. Didn't quite get there. O'Brien tries to lift the stick. Kicked at by Suzuki. It comes over towards the near wall. Bearcats get it up and finally clearing the blue line. Leone just tosses it in. She wanted head if on a change. Gerwitz trying to catch them. Comes over towards the right circle. Skates over in behind the net. Wrap around attempt. She'll just keep handling it. Shot in, but that goes well wide. Bouncing puck. Scully was dispossessed. Over towards the official circle. Bearcats have to push the reset button. Trying to clear the zone. Good forechecking pressure put on by the Saints. A little bit of a bump in behind the net. Couldn't dislodge the puck. McKendree gets it up into neutral ice. Chasing it down is Gerwitz. She has it for the Saints. Put it up the wall, but that's going to give it right to the Bearcats. A chance score! Cameron Scully takes advantage of the miscue, and it's 2-0. Second goal of the game for the Bearcats comes at 4:15 of the first period on only their third shot of the game. And similar to the first goal, Maryville had put a couple good shifts together. But just that one little mistake, and the Bearcats were able to capitalize. Bouncing puck over towards the Maryville bench. Chopped up towards the offensive end for the Saints. Player hauled down. Referee keeps his arms at his sides. Bearcats have it inside their own zone. Little bump here on the near side. Maryville won possession. Johnson at center ice drops it back to Aaron. She's in her own zone with pressure coming. Leone makes the steal at the blue line, skates up towards the circle, tosses it in front, but nobody could connect. On the near circle, Flock looking for an escape route, tosses it out towards center. She finds Poisson over towards the left circle as she gains the zone. Tried to get it around the defender, but the puck just kind of slipped away. Poisson chops it in behind the net. O'Brien will skate it down. Held in by Wasserman. Check that, it actually hopped over her stick on that attempt. Half-scale change right now for the Saints as O'Leary tried to gain the offensive zone. Puck bandied around back and forth. Bearcats get in on the offensive end. Good little poke check. Gerwitz was able to separate the puck from the player. Greenfield taps it out, and here comes O'Leary up the left wing, trying to cut in towards the center, but the defensive stick was there as Suzuki was in position. The puck frozen, as Burke will cover it up with 14:26 left to go here in the first period. Coach Lang will change his forward lines. Wasserman and Gerwitz will stay out on defense. Gerwitz holds it in just south of the half wall. Possession, give it up. Scully skates in behind and then tosses over to the far corner. McKendree gets it up towards center. Davis had it, stolen away by Gerwitz. She looks to skate up and instead tosses it in. Koch over to the far side as the Bearcats once again look to get out. McKendree on the offensive end. Maryville trying to back check. Stetzler in possession for the Saints. A little lift pass. Hit the skate of Smothers, and now it's tied up along the far boards. A scrum for it along the wall. Kicking and jabbing at it. Nobody's got it loose yet, but the referee making no intention that he's going to blow the whistle. Shot in from the point, well over the goal. Might have even banked off the blocker of Duncan. Maryville gets it out to center, but that's just to get a little breathing room. 13:20 left to go here in the first period. Shots 3-2, but the score 2-0 in favor of McKendree. Bearcats skated into the corner. Smothers eyes up her options. Good poke check from behind by Stetzler. Then the centering pass found no one. Held in along the blue line. Tossed off the Dashers by Pafalt. Aaron spun around. Smothers on the puck. Again, a blind pass in towards the slot, and nobody home in purple. Poke check by Flock. She blew a tire. There was a stick in the vicinity, but the referee not going to call that. Back into the offensive end for Poisson, but every time she crosses the blue line, there's at least one, if not two, defenders right around her. Stuck. Puck stolen by Johnson as she was coming back on defense, but McKendree was able to take it right back. Johnson tosses over to the far wall, and it's guided on out. This one rolling on end. Is it going to cross all the lines? It will, so it'll be an icing call. 12:17 left to go here in the first period. Despite the scoreline, it's been a decent period for the Saints. They've strung together a couple good shifts here and there. It's just the few mistakes that they've made in the contest thus far have ended up in the back of the net. O'Brien wins the draw, but it came right back out in front. Smothers tried to shoot it from the doorstep, and Duncan was there to make the stop. Greenfield with a little tap. It comes over to O'Leary. She will scoop it on in and try to chase it down. That puck had some pace on it, though, and it ends up all the way into the far corner. Smothers meets it there along the boards. Kept in as O'Leary sweeps it down towards the end line. A reverse play comes over towards Davy on the near side. Greenfield trying to cut that off. O'Leary joins her teammate, and then it's tossed towards goal by Gerwitz, but it never got quite on target. Leone taps it around the board. She'll head off on a change as Gerwitz picks it up. Stretch pass up towards the red line, and then backhanded in as O'Leary does the same, heading off to the bench. Up the boards, cross-ice pass, finds Atchison. She skates in towards the slot. She's got a little bit of space, and a backhander scoops wide. Atchison looking for the puck in behind the net. Instead, it's Davis back out towards the half wall, met by Oderman. She tied up her defensive charge. Backhand chance by Scully. Duncan turns it away as she came out to cut off the angle. Chances coming thick and heavy right now for the Bearcats. Wraparound attempt denied. Good defensive position by Stetzler, but still with Davis. Tipped in front. Duncan makes the save. Rebound turned aside, and finally the defense is able to sweep it away. Find the word eventually. Scully brings it right back in as she's pushed towards the wall. Stetzler was looking for the official right away, as we've seen that called as a penalty other times during the season. In comes Gerwitz on the offensive end. Wrist shot in, and it's blocked. Bouncing puck sent back out in front. Nobody home for Maryville. It comes back out towards the blue line, and Gerwitz couldn't hold. She'll send it back into the far corner as it ricochets around. Halfway through the first period, it's 2-0 Bearcats. Goals at 1:24 and 4:15. Off the back of the cage, Poisson guides it back out in front, but too close for comfort for Brianna Burke, and she will smother it. Both teams changing up their lines. 9:50 to go in the first period. Aaron flings one to the far side. Atchison takes it off the wall. Tried to feather one up towards center. It's rolling on end out towards the red line. Johnson will fling it in. She heads off on a change. Davis saw the puck stolen by Aaron and then took it right back. One touch passing by the Bearcats. A collision right along the circle. Puck loose, but McKendree skates it out. Atchison brings it in on the far side. Drops it, finds Scully. Looking for the backhander. Not available. Davy takes it right back, but it escaped the zone. O'Brien tosses it in, looking for O'Leary. Maryville has done a decent job of getting into the offensive end, but once they cross that blue line, there's just been no space available at all. Smothers gets into the offensive end. It's tied up, but the puck still glided in towards the crease. Ended up being somewhat of a chance. Smothers from the half wall, sandwiched by two Saints players. Maryville guides it up towards the blue line, and out comes Poisson. She'll toss one into the near corner and then track it down. It takes a disadvantageous bounce, comes back out towards the circle, but Maryville wasn't able to collect. Sent all the way down, crosses all three lines, and we'll have an icing call. The clock stops with 8:14 to go in the first. Offense hard to come by for the Saints thus far. Only 2 shots on goal, and both of those were somewhat trickling in towards net. Their best chances have actually ended up in blocked shots. Gerwitz sends one towards goal. That got all the way through on a seeing eye shot. but it was stopped by a well-positioned Burke. Back the other way, it's a 3-on-1. The pass towards the middle disrupted, and ultimately Gerwitz was able to thwart that attempt. Looking for Burbage back at the point. Instead, it's Johnson heading out the other way for the Saints. Skating up the left-hand side from the circle, and the shot was disrupted again. Held in by Flock, bouncing puck out towards the face-off dot. Poisson had it, but as she tried to switch over to the forehand, the puck had too much pace on it. Back the other way, Atchison glides her way around 3 defenders. Looks for help as the Bearcats were rolling a line change. 7.5 to go here in the first period. Scully tried to go through the wickets. That was off the skate of Greenfield, and Aaron looks for options. Deflected out of the zone, but again not with possession. Davis right back in as she hands it off. Scully was offside. McKendree got a little too cute with the zone entry, ended up costing them a potential odd man rush as they would have had 2-on-1 coming in on goal from the near side. So that'll end up with a neutral zone faceoff. Gerwitz with the puck over to Greenfield, up through center. O'Leary saw it stolen away. A collision at center ice, and once again the referee allowing them to play on. Tossed up towards center, and once again it's right over the Maryville logo. Stetzler had it pilfered away. Smothers on the puck. Tried to skate past the red line and then pass over it as well. Neither were successful. Gerwitz from her own end, near side for O'Leary. Couldn't find the handle as it kind of exploded off the heel of her stick. She tied up with Atchison. Back the other way we go. Atchison comes into the offensive end, stick handling, puck rolled on her. And now she drives in towards the corner boards. Pushed against the wall. Maryville will send it down. O'Leary had some decent speed, but she didn't have the angle, so we'll have another icing call. .606 left to go here in the first. It's a 2-goal game. Davis and Scully are your goal scorers for the Bearcats. Face off one, and then the pass from Brawley hit the skates of O'Leary. She recovered, and then just backhanded into the near side corner. Looking out in front, deflected, and there's a big save by Burke. Christian Oderman becoming very close to scoring the first goal of the game for the Saints. Trying to guide that one through the 5-hole. Scully slid it back. Nobody there for McKendree, and now here comes Poisson. She's got eyes on goal. The shot was knocked down. Pafalt with a stick in front. Bearcats give it up at center ice. Brawley chases it down for the Saints. Pass dangerously up towards the bench, and I say that because that could have been too many men on the ice had the wrong person touched it for the Saints. Brawley with a second opportunity, flings one up along the boards. Takes a Bearcats hop. Leone back towards the hash marks. A bouncer in front. Smothers trying to collect it. Never steered its way on goal. Davey holds the zone. Off the skates of Flock. Davey with a second opportunity. Backhanded towards the cage. And that sticked into the corner. Put back out in front again. Smothers was tied up as Brawley was there. O'Brien couldn't make the steal. A backhand chance. Scooped right up into the belly of Duncan. And she will hold on. So Maryville settled down on the defensive end, keeping the shot totals relatively low. Only 7 shots against them, and there were 6, probably as many as 3 or 4 minutes ago. So offense has been hard to come by. Burbage with a wrister. That had some pepper behind it, but it was blocked by Wasserman. Second chance was denied, and then tossed back out in front to Davis for a third, but it never quite got to her. Greenfield takes her man down, in behind the net. Bearcats in control, looking for space out in front. One-timer, Burbage denied, and a second time went off the side of the goal. 4 minutes and change left to go here in the opening frame. Burbage again to Atchison in the high slot. Her shot was blocked, but Greenfield couldn't clear. Like a hot potato, finally picked up by O'Leary, and a floating wrister ends up ricocheting off the end wall. Maryville tried to serve one back out in front. Loose along the end line, jab towards goal. Didn't quite get in on target. And it's a scrum along the end wall once more. Davis from her own zone goes cross ice. Atchison at center and then flings one in as she crossed the red line. Bearcats will change. Maryville tried to do so on the fly. Poisson got it up towards center, not quite there. Aaron tosses it right in front of her own bench. Brawley lifts it up towards the blue line, but no further. Kicked at by the Bearcats defender. Leone sends it back. Koch is there. Glides one up the boards, and then it's off the heels of Leone. Aaron leaves it, and in comes Stetzler. Into the slot, wrist shot, and a save. It was off the cuff of the glove. A bouncer over towards the far wing, but again, the Saints hold it in. Not much in the way of space as they fling it up towards the corner boards. A change called by Tommy Lang, and the Bearcats will answer in the same. 2.5 to go here in the first period. Gerwich bangs one off the dashers, and then it's deflected in by Poisson. Johnson will chase it down. He's able to steer it around. Big collision here on the near side as Johnson ran out of real estate. The shot by Poisson ended up going off the end wall. Gerwitz tried to tap it off the boards, and then the outlet feed was just beyond Cameron Scully. Both teams trying to keep their legs fresh with relatively quick line changes here in the first period. Davis tried to go cross ice. That was knocked away. A rolling puck is going to go all the way down, and we'll have another icing call. Once again, the clock stops, this time with 1:43 in the first. Tossed in towards goal. They find Greenfield in front. Her backhand met the right pad. Bearcats collect the loose change right into the stick of Greenfield as she's been a force here on the forecheck. Bearcats steer it into the offensive end as they're trying to complete a line change that they weren't able to do due to the icing call. And now they have it at their own blue line as Maryville just kind of tossed it out. Davey will skate it in. Hit a rut in the ice as she tried to guide it in towards the corner. Brawley will send it around the boards. Greenfield tapped it up but not out. Aaron with a chance. She can't clear. Here's Suzuki from the circle, and then she fanned on the crossing pass. O'Leary gets up to the red line and then flings it into the offensive zone. Under a minute to go here in the first. Leone from the near side in towards center. Oderman swung at the puck and came up empty. It's into the offensive zone now for the Bearcats. Gerwitz finds the loose puck. Oderman had it go off her skate. Gerwitz picks it up out towards center, and then a little poke from Koch was able to separate the puck. Gerwitz with another chance. Crosses the blue line, winds up, and then shoots over the goal. Stetzler tried to throw the hip in and didn't come up with the puck. Back the other way we go. 8 seconds left. Davis hits the brakes, was looking for Scully. A good tie up by Gerwitz. It's loose, and then the shot by Atchison. Duncan with the save. The puck was loose, but the horn sounds. And we'll skate into the intermission with the Bearcats up by 2 goals. was a decent first 20 minutes of play for your Maryville Saints, but they come up empty in terms of the goals. We'll see what they can accomplish in the next 40 minutes of play. After one, it's 2-0 McKendree. This is Maryville Saints hockey. Don't go too far. We'll be back with your intermission report.
Welcome back, Flower. We're very excited to show you what we have here. The new access line, more powerful rebounds, lightweight construction, all designed in Canada, of course.
There's two types of drivers out there. Drivers who know how to protect their investment and drivers who don't. Car owners who know how to get more miles per gallon and owners who don't. We're talking people who know their Schaefer and people who don't. Which one are you? From cars to trucks to diesel workhorses, whatever you drive, there's a Schaefer synthetic oil for you. Do you know your Schaefer? Ask for it at an automotive retailer near you.
I'll start with a split squat, and then followed by that will be a series of different kinds of jumps and movements that'll try and get off the ground as quickly as possible.
So before workouts, I roll out for probably 10 minutes max. After I go through my rolling routine, I'll generally go into a dynamic warm-up, and then I'll head to the gym and start my workout.
I pair hurdle hops after a different leg exercise, like a squat or a split squat. So you get the strength part, and then after you do the strength part and you're loaded with weight, you come over here and you're trying to be light on your feet and quick off the ground to, again, increase your explosiveness and speed on the ice.
Moneta may be one of the nation's largest independent wealth managers, but what we pride ourselves on most is serving each client like they're part of the family. That's why we go to extraordinary lengths to help our clients reach their unique financial goals. Whether launching a business, providing retirement planning for employees, or building a multi-generational legacy. At Moneta, whatever you cherish, we help protect it today, tomorrow, and into the future.
Welcome back, Flower. We're very excited to show you what we have here. The new access line, more powerful rebounds, lightweight construction, all designed in Canada, of course.
Hi, I'm Ethan Mahalicek, and I'm a game design major from St. Louis, Missouri. I decided on game design because it was something that new that they were offering at Maryville. It was kind of an addition to the interactive design program, and when they offered it, I hopped right on board. I've always loved video games, and so I figured why not try to make them. The professors have helped me build up to where I'm at the moment in a variety of ways, but one of the most important and influential, I think, has been them pushing me to take projects that I've done and push them to their limits. Here at Maryville, it's required as a design student that you do at least one internship. I kind of went a little bit beyond that and have done 3 at this point, or I'm currently in my 3rd. I'd say my favorite part about the program is that it's still kind of small at the moment, and so that allows for a really close connection with the professors and fellow students in the classroom, and a lot of involved work in the classroom. So there's a lot of collaboration that goes on, a lot of, helping each other. If you're interested in game design, and even more so interested in Maryville, why not stop by, take a tour, and see what we're all about.
This is a message for those who once tried to get a degree, but didn't, who face their future and their fears. Here at At Maryville University, we've been recognizing brave students like you for nearly 150 years. It's for you that we're developing our degree programs in partnership with the businesses that will employ the leaders of tomorrow. And now, we're bringing it online because it's hard to get a degree. But if you're brave, you can do anything. Let's be brave together. Learn more now at maryville.edu/online.
At Wassa Homes, we understand building a home may seem complicated and stressful. That's why we created a simple 3-step building process, so you don't have to feel confused or overwhelmed. We've been building homes for 50 years, and our customers know at Wassa Homes we build your way with a firm price and on time. 100% panelized construction and 100% custom. Start the process by visiting us online at wassahomes.com to see our floor plans.
Welcome into the Maryville Saints Intermission Report, brought to you by Wausau Homes. I'm Todd Panula. The score after 20 minutes of play is the McKendree Bearcats with 2 goals and none thus far for your Maryville Saints. And it's been kind of an interesting first 20 minutes of play for the Maryville Saints because really when you look at the grand scope of that first period, they didn't play all that bad. They had a few turnovers, which came at poor times. Obviously, any kind of turnover at any time isn't necessarily anything that a coach is going to like, but there are some that you can overcome and some that you could not. And there were a couple there in that first period to which Maryville just really couldn't recover from. And unfortunately for them, they came out in the first few minutes of that first period when they had a couple good shifts, and that's kind of what we were talking about in the pregame show in terms of keys to victory. They needed to find that early consistency, get a couple good shifts under their belt, and try to build off of that, and they seem to be down that path. Unfortunately, they had somewhat of a turnover that led to a rush down the other way, and Davis was able to score the first goal at 1:24. So you had a couple good quick shifts for Maryville, and unfortunately a mistake ended up in the back of the net. The same thing would happen at 4:15 as Scully got the second goal of the game for McKendree. And again, Maryville was starting to string together a few good shifts here and there. They were starting to get a little bit of offensive pressure. The shots weren't necessarily getting through. There were a lot of blocks, which was really the case throughout the first 20 minutes of play for Maryville. But ultimately, they were starting to get a little more of a feel for the offensive zone. And once again, it was another turnover that kind of led to a breakdown the other way. And unfortunately, that one ended up in the back of the net on a partial odd man rush for McKendree. And again, as we've kind of said all season, it hasn't really mattered whether it's been Sawyer Duncan or Emily Shaw between the pipes. They haven't really been able to do too much about the goals that have been scored against them. There just hasn't been enough offensive pressure to support the goaltending that the Saints have got. And thus far, the defense has played good when the puck has been in their own zone. It's kind of that transition game, which is hard for anybody really to defend, that's kind of been the bugaboo for the Saints here this evening. So that'll just about do it for our first intermission report. Once again, the score is McKendree 2, Maryville nothing. When we come back, we'll have the second period of action. Don't go too far. This is Maryville Saints Hockey on the Maryville Saints Hockey Network.
Homes, we understand building a home may seem complicated and stressful. That's why we created a simple 3-step building so you don't have to feel confused or overwhelmed. We've been building homes for 50 years, and our customers know at Wassa Homes we build your way with a firm price and on time. 100% panelized construction and 100% custom. Start the process by visiting us online at wassahomes.com to see our floor plans.
Look, sport might not be the answer right now, but it teaches us this, that impossible challenges must be faced and overcome. And the reward is joy. And it will always be that way. And now that sport is back, don't waste these chances. Play with more heart, even more fire, and hope that does not end. Seek out what scares you and let your body do what it loves. Nobody knows what the future holds, nobody knows what will come our way. So honor every breath and respect every chance. Opportunities will come, and we must be ready.
There's a super fun city, a quick getaway, where there's so much excitement you need more than a day. St. Louis is the stop for non-stop fun, so much fun for your family, infinity plus a ton. It's got works of wonder, things to wow your brain, an amazing pet performance all aboard all the trains. Some museums are historic, some hit the right blues note, maybe catch a cards game, whatever paddles your boat. Yeah, St. Louis is the stop for non-stop fun.
Visit us at ExploreStLouis.com for your chance to win a weekend of non-stop fun.
A lot of the times, students that are thinking about entering our program, they have a lot of questions. They've done their research. A lot of the questions that the students have are based upon outcomes. Where am I going to be 4 years from now if I decide to be in the Rawlings Sport Business Management Program? Here, I'll show you. Here's where our alumni work now. We have students working in the athletic department at universities. We have students working for sports teams. We have students working for sports agencies, whether it be an abstract marketing, a Learfield Sports, an IMG. Those are a lot of the organizations that are hiring our students. We do have a lot of our alumni who do work for sports teams, whether it be the Houston Rockets, the Kansas City Royals, the St. Louis Cardinals, St. Louis Blues. Many of our students have worked for those agencies and continue to work for those types of organizations now.
Powerade. Man, if I had had this kind of power back in my day, my crossover would have been something else. I'd have broke everybody's ankles. The rare peanut vendor. My crossover would have been so crazy. If you recorded it, watched it 2 weeks later, broke ankles. Man, that is some kind of power. Careful now.
By now, you guys probably know there's a lot to see and do in St. Louis. But when it comes to the art scene, there's more here than meets the eye. From Laumeier Sculpture Park and the City Garden to the stunning Cathedral Basilica, one of the largest mosaic collections in the entire world. So if art is your thing, St. Louis is on display all year long. Ooh, now that's an exhibit. St. Lou is always exploring.
And welcome back to the Maryville University Hockey Center. Just about ready for second period action between the McKendree Bearcats and the Maryville Saints. We've got a special guest with us in the broadcast booth here for the second period. Head of the Maryville Saints hockey program, Coach John Hogan. Coach, welcome in. Thanks for joining me, keeping me a little bit of company here.
Absolutely. You looked a little lonely over here, so I thought I'd come over here for the second period. So thanks for having me.
Got too used to having color commentators after rocking it solo the last couple seasons. But obviously, Maryville's going to be a little bit disappointed with the 2-0 scoreline. But what did you see in that first period? Anything that they can build off of heading into the second frame?
Yeah, I think with this group talking a lot with Tommy, it's just about trying to get that chemistry. It's one thing to start a team up. We've done it from the men's side, but then to do it with only 16 girls and then throw a pandemic in the mix, and it's they need a little more time to get acquainted with one another. So I think at the end of the day, that's just what it's all about for this group right now, is just getting more acquainted with one another, getting on the ice more, And I think Tommy and I, you can see an improvement out of the girls the last month. So as long as you're taking steps forward, as small as they might seem at times, I think that's what's most important. So the second period, I know for our guys, it can be a little daunting with the long changes, and I know Tommy, it's something he stresses in the second period, especially for his D when he only has 4D, to make sure they're making good changes and trying to just play a simple brand of hockey here.
I know on the men's side, you guys had somewhat of a short time window when you started up a couple seasons ago. How short was it for Coach Lang in terms of like, okay, you guys decided we're going to have a women's program, you start recruiting, then all of a sudden it changes to Division I. Was that just like light speed?
A little bit. I think it was mid-January when I was brought on to recruit then for August. So what is that, 6-ish months? And I think Tommy was roughly the same. He maybe had a half a month less. But then he had a little thing called COVID to deal with as well. So that made recruiting that much harder. So I know he's doing a nice job for us, and the girls are playing hard, and they get to be on the ice and to get better every day. So that's what's most important here.
Quick chance right off the hop here in the second period as Poisson was denied on the doorstep. Backhand chance in towards goal. It was smothered by Burke.
Yeah, from a shot standpoint, it's about 7-9 here. So I know the second periods has been something that Tommy's been trying to stress his girls that they need to be better here in the second to put them in a position to win a hockey game in the third.
Face-off won by the Bearcats as they try to steer it out of the zone. Back in the defensive end for McKendree. Koch up the middle to Scully. Davis on the far side as they exchange places. Stolen by Flock as she tosses it in and then heads off on a change. Scooped up the zone. Scully gets it along the boards. Wasserman trying to deny. Atchison lost control of it. Poked up towards Poisson from the far circle. Backhand chance. And a stick save made. Wasserman pinches in from the point. Hands it off. And a shot in from O'Leary, and she hits the end wall. Davis steers it around as she reverses the puck. Wasserman again up from the point. O'Brien to O'Leary from the hash marks, and a save up high. And the puck is frozen by Burke.
Good minute and a half here, start the second period. A couple quick shots on net. O'Leary, good opportunity. Sid, she always seems to find the puck in good situations there. So minute 20 there to build on here.
Decent start to the second period for the Saints. Greenfield tried to tap it back, and now it's given away. Smothers with a bit of open ice in front from the far circle, but she saw Brawley coming back. And then ultimately the shot was denied by O'Brien.
Yeah, good back check there.
Puck comes out of the zone. A fault tosses it back the other direction. Greenfield up at the line. Pafalt again. And again intercepted by Maryville as they're denying the zone entry. Slider over along the far side. Saints can't clear on the first attempt. Leone had her stick lifted. Atchison puts it out in front, shoots! And that's just wide of the far post. Greenfield from the near side wall. Pass just escapes the intended target as that was supposed to get to Olivia O'Brien. Bearcats put it right back into the offensive end. 17:40 to go here in the second.
Really nice save there by Sawyer Duncan. If this stays a close hockey game, you might need to think back to that one.
Trying to backhand it up and out. Duncan tried to steer it over towards the corner boards, was heading that direction anyway. Davis saw it taken away by Aaron. Aaron back to get it in the near corner. Hammers one over towards the far boards, but again held in by the Bearcats as they're putting on the pressure. Koch from the point. Scoops one in towards the corner. Rolls in behind the net. Looking for options, and it's just under the stick. Kept alive by Davey. From the circle, they hack and whack. It's loose in front. Duncan makes the initial save. Doesn't know where the puck is. And her defenders were able to get her back as they clear it out.
So I was talking about here in that second period, some long changes for the D. Aaron was just about to get off, but I think Brawley's been out there for now.
Leone's shot was deflected on the way through, hopped over the net. A diving Davy kept it along the boards. Puck escapes the zone, but the Bearcats still have it. They're trying to change on the fly. Poisson gives a bit of a whack, doesn't come up with the puck. Atchison heads in towards the left wing, cuts back in towards the middle from the near side, and she lost control of it along the circle. Davis from behind the net. Pass denied. Brawley trying to wall off the man and the puck. Pirouettes around the offensive player. Can't come up with possession. Shot in by Scully, and that's deflected out of play. We talked about it, Coach. It's tough to get those line changes here in the second period, and we've seen Maryville hemmed into their own end for a couple minutes now.
I think that was almost a 3-minute shift for Brawley. No fault to her, but that's just what happens in the second period of these games. And with a shortened bench, you can't really fault the energy here. We got 16 girls, and I think McKendree only has 14. So, got to find a way to have some quicker shifts there to keep the energy going for the whole 60 minutes.
Shot off the side of the net. Flock tries to steer it out, but it was walled off by a McKendree player. Glove down by Scully, trying to get it into the high slot. Now somebody's lost a twig. That's one of the Maryville defenders. Wasserman without the stick, pushes Smothers over towards the boards. Stick still loose in the high slot. Flock over, but still can't get possession of the puck.
This is when a forward should give their stick to a defenseman.
Save made by Duncan. And once again, she kind of does the double pad stack on the way out. Referee says it did not cross the line, as Duncan was a little bit afraid that it had gotten in behind her, but still another good save by the Maryville goaltender.
That's just learning to play with one another. Would have been a nice time for a forward to give their stick to Wasserman, and then the forward grabbing the stick that's in the high slot. You'd rather have your defenseman protecting the front of the house there with a stick.
Loose puck out in front. Greenfield gets a hold of it for the Saints as they try to at least push it into neutral ice. Off the near side wall, and now it's picked up by O'Brien. She takes a wrister, and the save was made. Puck was loose, but an early whistle came in. And based on the position of the referee, I'm surprised that he blew that dead, because he should have had eyes on the puck, but nevertheless, a little bit quick on the draw.
Nice simple play there. Little chip off the wall, climb the ladder, 2-on-1. That doesn't take any skill, really. That just takes a commitment to a structure and playing the right way, the right brand of hockey. So good 2-on-1 there for the girls.
Greenfield takes an elbow, got back up and made the pass, but it was deflected in on goal, and another save made by Burke as Maryville finally with a couple chances in on goal. And Coach, you hear about it basically at every level, from Pee-wees on through the NHL, about the long change in the second period. Is that something that as a player you go in mindful of? I mean, is that something that you think about, or is it just one of those things?
Well, I'd say it's most important, obviously, for the D, because they're the ones that really have to skate hard. And then, just as right here, we have G and Brawley right there, and good play there by G to get back, but that's just the nature of the second period. And then when G gets on the ice here, we have to have Brawley then to be making sure we're talking, and G and Brawley switch, so then Brawley's on the right side of the benches, and then she can get off. So it's just a lot of communication that's needed, and by those D pairings, and it also the forwards have to do a nice job of knowing, hey, when I'm coming through the neutral zone the second period, I got to make sure pucks get in deep to make sure that the D behind me can make those changes. So it's a group effort, but it's the toughest for the D for sure. And here's a 2-on-1 off a nice chip there by Sid.
Brought out by Flock from the near wing up towards the center. Johnson is denied, and then the rebound turned away as well. Best chance of the game for the Saints, but ultimately it was denied by Brianna Burke. Flock with a great setup there, and Johnson just nibbled one off the waffle board. To the far circle, Davis spins away. Johnson on the defense. Davis drops it off for Scully. Pushes one out in front. Deflected shot by Atchison. Just glide wide. Atchison again, she's been busy on the offensive end for the Bearcats. Steers one in for Scully. Davis trying to take up shop in the slot. Instead they go to Koch at the point. Her shot was deflected up and over. Gerwitz can't clear as she sent it up the zone. Once again, Atchison stick handles around a couple players. A shot went wide. O'Leary gets it up to the blue line, but not out once more. From the half wall. They got it in front. Scully with a shot and a toe save made. Steered back by Leone as she reverses it into the corner. Now Leone carries along the wall. Looking for options. That one closed out by the defense, and Maryville will get out to center. Greenfield pushed one towards goal. Went off a defensive skate out towards center. Gerwitz couldn't touch it to avoid a too many men on the ice call. Greenfield on the back check, has the bouncing puck, float over her stick, smothers into the slot, but she's on her backhand, back to the forehand, and a blocker save. Another shot from a tight angle. Smothers off the side of the goal this time with the chance. Maryville hemmed into their defensive zone again, off the skate of O'Brien, and a stick save made by Duncan. O'Leary took a spill. Still no power plays for either team as there are no penalties on the board for either squad. Greenfield in possession, but handed it right over to Koch. She eyed up the shot, but there wasn't a lane. Out in front, backhand chance, and that just bounces wide. Smothers over. O'Leary got it first. O'Brien trying to clear. And finally, the Saints are able to get it out into neutral ice.
Here's that second period, long shifts here. A lot of fatigue, a lot of tired girls on the ice here for the Saints.
Raleigh tried to toss one out. Second attempt gets it up the wall, but not on target for Oderman. Maryville's got a couple fresh forwards, but the defenders have been trapped out there. Davis floats over towards the far side from the circle. Stolen by Oderman. A bouncer finally gets up to neutral ice. We'll see if they can get the defenders off. It's up towards the red line. Aaron bangs it off the Dashers, but still not enough to get over towards the bench. Starting to see some straight legs by the Maryville defense. Stetzler got up towards the blue line, but no further. Bearcats will send it in, but Brawley didn't have the legs to catch up to it for icing. In front. Not there for Scully. Stetzler backhands it up towards center. That'll get a change for Brawley, who was probably out there the longest. Oderman had it slip away from her possession. Guided around by Leone as she sidesteps to Tetzler. Centering pass wasn't there for Scully, but she picks it up and drives into the corner. Scully from the backhand, Leone on the forehand, centered in front. They were looking to find Burbage. She was in the right position, but the puck wasn't quite there. Halfway through the contest, score still 2-0 Bearcats, both goals coming in the first period.
I'd say of all the opponents that we've played this season, even though McKendree doesn't have a lot of players, their players have a lot of chemistry, have been playing with one another for a long time, and that's where a lot of their O-zone comes from, just really good chemistry.
Now put back out in towards center, and then finally two defenders came back, and then the chance right in the slot. The goaltender's crease. Poisson was right there on the doorstep. They couldn't get that up and over the goaltender. Maryville's had a couple of chances in this second period, despite a lot of defending going on. And ultimately, still the goose egg on the board. Koch was spun around, and here comes the captain, Maddie Johnson, driving in towards the circle, and finally was met by two defenders. Scully back the other way.
As you said, not a lack of chances. Maryville's had their chances. Oh.
And a bit of bad luck there for Maryville, despite all that's gone on in this game, and no penalties handed out thus far. We'll get our first one, and it's going to be a tripping call, just kind of extending the stick. Skate hit it. Not too much in the way of choices for the referee.
We should have knocked on wood when you said that.
There's none around. Otherwise, I would have tried.
Yeah, I know this has been a focal point for Tommy and the girls of just trying to stay off the, not letting the opposing team get a power play. So let's see how they do here. I know they've been practicing a lot in practice. So
Suzuki took the wrist shot. That was knocked away. Now from just outside the circle, Koch sets it up, looking for Leone in front. Davey puts it in front. That one went off the left pad. Maryville in charge of it, and they'll clear it down.
Yeah, a lot of the time on the penalty kill, they put Maddie Johnson here on the back end to help out, to give the defenseman a little break, and your captain a lot of times is your best player, and Maddie leads by example, and she'll do whatever it takes for Tommy, and she'll go play defense if she needs to, just like she does on the PK here.
Koch plays catch with Davey as it's given back to Koch. She tried to sweep it into the corner. Looking for a return pass. Instead, it's Atchison giving it up. Cross ice. Just hopping off the stick of Davey as she came in from the point, and then a good high clearance by Maryville.
Good job there, keeping everything to the outside. If McKendree wants to pass around there, very difficult to get goals out from the perimeter. So with a tired group, only 16 girls, smart move to just let them play out there on the boards and conserve some energy up the middle of the ice.
Now Burbage with a wrister. That got all the way through, and it scores. A seeing eye shot. It looks like Burbage is going to get credit for it. It'll be a power play goal, and it's 3-0 in favor of the Bearcats.
Yep, McKendree there gets in the middle of the ice. I should have knocked on wood there. A seeing eye puck. I think it hit off a skate or two and sneaks by Sawyer there. So
Burbage with the goal at 12:52. Power play goal.
A lot of game left here, though, for the Saints. 3-0, I think, for the most part, have played a really nice game. So if you're the Saints, you got to just be thinking, we got to get the next one. Got to get the next one. That puts you in a hockey game and gives the Bearcats a 2-goal lead, which is the worst lead in hockey.
As a Blues fan, I've seen that happen quite a bit beyond just this season. How deflating can that be when you've done a really good job of killing off a penalty to that point, and then in the last 30 seconds, they managed to get it into the back of the net?
Yeah, it's like a vacuum. It can suck the energy right out, especially, a good penalty kill. That can be a big momentum changer. Some good block shots. It's tough there. So the next 6 minutes here is going to be crucial here for the Saints to make sure that they keep chipping away here, and at the least, keep it a 3-goal deficit to make sure that they're still in a hockey game come the third. But here comes Maddie Johnson here on a rush. Good chip in there.
She gets it in, and it's sticked into the near corner. Poisson in behind the cage, and once again just met by a defender immediately as she touches it. Johnson keeps it alive at the blue line as she scoops it way up high. A bouncer over the stick of Pafalt. Comes over near side to Smothers. Gerwitz in from the point to keep it alive. From the corner, looking to center. She'll take it around. Puts on the brakes and then blows a tire right as she got to the hash marks. This will cross all the requisite lines, so it'll be an icing call. Clock stops with 5:25 to go here in the second period.
Good ozone pressure there, and Emma Gerwitz just blows a tire. But thank goodness it ended up in an icing and a good ozone face-off opportunity here. About 5 minutes left in the second period.
Score 3-0. 2 goals for McKendree in the first, 1 here in the second. Saints trying to find an answer. They were centering for O'Brien, but once again met by a defensive stick. Gerwitz jabs at it along the boards, and finally it's guided out to center by Smothers. An open player in the middle, that was Leone, but good defending by Poissant on the back check to deny the pass. Poissant was tied up. Glides one up through center. That's too far for Johnson. Koch races back to pick it up. In behind the Bearcats' goal. Out towards the blue line, but intercepted by O'Leary. Long wrist shot, missed by a foot or so. Scully comes on the counterattack, taking on all comers.
Number 11, O'Leary's had some really nice chances tonight. She's been playing really good hockey the last couple games.
Bearcats push it in towards the circle. Stetzler, second attempt, got it up the zone, but not quite out. Just out of the reach of Scully. Atchison manages to steal it away for the moment. Sandwiched between 2 Saints players. Davis handed it off. Scully sidesteps. Now a long shot in, deflected in front. It's loose at the top of the crease. We're going to get another penalty. There's a player down for the Bearcats. Looked like interference might have been the call.
I think that would have been interference in a men's game, too. That was a big-time hit there in front of the net.
So it's going to be Paige Stetzler into the sin bin. With 3:58 to go here in the period, and McKendree on their second power play of the game.
I know it's been a point of emphasis, but this second period, kind of the way a lot of the second periods have gone for the Saints this year, just lots of long shifts, not being able to get changes, and then some of that desperation, some of that lack of energy turning into power play opportunities for the opponent.
Leone just outside the circle, gives it over to Koch at the point. Far side now from the half wall. The Bearcats set it up. Straight away it's Koch. She'll take a looping shot. That got all the way through as they were looking for the tip, but Duncan was well positioned. 20 seconds off the clock, 1:40 left in the power play. Both teams keeping their set players out there. Saints get it off the face-off, and it's brought over here towards the near side. With some speed, O'Brien gains the zone and then dispossessed. O'Brien has to race to get back into position. Johnson comes in on the forecheck, trying to disrupt the zone-to-zone play. Koch backhands it around Gerwitz. Wasserman tries to chase it down. Koch is there first. Maryville will set up in their diamond formation. Shot in, and another save made by Duncan as the shot totals are climbing up a little bit higher for McKendree. They're up to 19.
You know, and a lot of the things that we've been seeing this season out of, our girls here at Maryville is just a lot of first season growing pains. You know, some timely goals, and some of these games are changed for the better. And, just learning how to play with one another and having some better changes and, things from that nature. That all just comes with time. And I know it can be difficult at times in some of these games when, the bounces just aren't coming our way. But you create your own luck, you create your own bounces, and again, that's just kind of all part of the process and some of the growing pains as a new team.
And Atchison is open in the middle. They were looking for her, but she was on the backhand, so it was hard to corral. Saints trying to punch it up the near side wall. No space available. Pafalt holds it in along the blue line, takes a couple strides, gives it over to Scully. Shot in from the circle, blocker save, and then the rebound punched over towards the near corner. Scully avoids the pressure, leaves it for Pafalt. Easy for me to say. Now from the far circle, the backhand chance for Atchison goes wide.
A lot of times the special teams, you can kind of see how good of a coach the other team has. And Derek Pillardi here at McKendree, you can just see a lot of good movement, a lot of good structure, creating a lot of havoc for the Maryville Saints. So another good power play by McKendree, but also a really good penalty kill here by the Saints with about 2 minutes left in the second period.
Back to full strength as the Maryville players out of the box. Stetzler's back out onto the ice, but McKendree's still in control of it. Bearcats looking for their 4th goal of the game. 95 seconds left to go here in the second period. Gerwitz in control of it for the Saints, but there's a stick right in her way. Held in along the line by Burbage. She had the power play goal about 5 minutes ago or so. In on the offensive end. O'Leary guiding it towards goal. They try to punch it in. Looks like the net is loose on the far side. There were sticks in the air for Maryville, and I believe they're going to blow it dead.
There has not been a sign. I think they're going to talk about it here.
Some of the Maryville players look like they thought it crossed the line. The officials discussing things. And they're going to say it's a goal. So with a score with 1:13 left to go here in the period, and Maryville's on the board.
You create your own luck, you create your own bounces. Really nice play there. I think we mentioned O'Leary earlier in the game. Good drive there, good little 3-on-1 with a minute and a half left. Just gets to the front of the net. Dog on a bone, dog on a bone. Really nice play there.
First goal of the game for Maryville comes at 18:47 of the second period. And I believe they're going to credit it to Paige Stelzer. It's a good effort play as they kept it alive right in front of the goal and were finally able to just jab it over the end line. Smothers trying to answer quickly for McKendree. Instead, it's Brawley who skates in behind her own net. Blind backhand pass from Poisson. Maryville gets away with it initially, and finally they toss it out to center.
45 seconds left here. Be a big deal to get into going into the third period with only a 2-goal deficit with lots of time left.
Now Suzuki onto the forehand, shoots, and that cuts through the top of the crease. Koch in from the point, right into Johnson. She was able to steal the puck away. Now there's a scrum for it here along the near boards. 25 to go in the middle frame. Now it's out towards center and Flock. She wanted to get that pass off to Poisson, but just hesitated a little bit.
This is Flock's first shift after that 2-on-1 opportunity she had and went pretty hard into the board. So good to see her back on the ice.
Saints get it out of their own zone as they roll the line change. Intercepted at their defensive blue line. Gerwitz rings one towards goal as she was looking for a hopeful shot in the last dying seconds. Doesn't get it, but nevertheless, Coach, a great final 2 minutes of that period for Maryville to get on the board.
If I'm saying, I'm feeling pretty good. You know, you tie the second period. Is that what we did there? Tied the second period. We tie the second period, and good goal there with about a minute and a half left. Hopefully gives the girls a little energy, a little pop coming out here in the third, and play hard for 20 minutes and see what happens. Get to that front of the net just like Paige's goal there.
So 1 goal apiece for each team in that second period. The difference still 2 after 2. We'll take a quick break here. When we come back, we'll have your intermission report, and we'll have your third period of play as well. Don't go too far. This is Maryville Saints Hockey on the Maryville Saints Hockey Network.
All the work, because the road to the next level never ends. All the work, all the sweat. All the work, all the sweat, all the pain. All the work, all the sweat, all the pain. Block it out. All the work, all the sweat, all the pain, I'm trained. All the work, all the sweat, all the pain, I'm trained, I'm dead. All the work, all the sweat, all the pain, I'm trained, I'm dead. All the work, because the road to the next level never ends.
This is a message for those who once tried to get a degree, but didn't, who face their future and their fears. Here at Maryville University, we've been recognizing brave students like you for nearly 150 years. It's for you that we're developing our degree programs in partnership with the businesses that will employ the leaders of tomorrow. And now, we're bringing it online, because it's hard to get a degree. But if you're brave, you can do anything. Let's be brave together. Learn more now at maryville.edu/online.
Red Brick Roofing, wherever you live, from Bridgeton to Baldwin, Brentwood to Kirkwood, St. Anne to St. Charles, wherever you live. Hazelwood to Maplewood, the name you know. Red Brick Roofing, wherever you go. For a
St. Louis, 314-645-2000.
There are very few companies that offer the opportunities that you'll find at Arco Construction.
I guess some companies, their mentality is it's this way, or no other way. And Arco really is just like, hey, it's about having a great atmosphere, a fun environment, work hard, play hard.
We truly do bleed Arco blue. It is a family here. We are culture, which sounds kind of weird, but at the end of the day, everybody always asks me what is unique about Arco, and I just think that our culture is one that can't be rivaled by any other company or any other opportunity.
If somebody really wants to do something special with their lives and their career, I think this is the best company to be able to do that.
We're about serving others. We're about culture. We're about stretching you. We're about stretching ourselves. We're about making a difference.
I think I'd have to say we are tireless.
We are experts in what we do. We are definitely not lazy.
We are the game changer. Construction is moving more and more into the design-build realm. Arco is the true design builder out there in a world of a lot of construction companies who like to throw the term around very loosely. We really are it.
We win projects, we have fun, we create opportunities for individuals' financial success. So we like to win, and we're very successful.
We're the best place you're ever going to work. Clear, bar none. That's the way it is. We're gonna set the standard. Arco is going to set a standard. And if you come to work here, then basically you're going to understand what the standard, what that bar is, and you're going to adjust everything else by this company. You're going to understand what the other companies are compared to this company.
I've always wanted to go back to school, but getting a degree feels complicated now. I don't know if I can fit into my life like I did before. And I think about all the new jobs out there, and everything's moving so fast. I need a degree to help me further my career, but one that is worth my time and money. And I'm ready for the next step and to make sacrifices. But I want a university that believes in me the way that I do.
Here at Maryville University, we stand for those who are brave. We've been bravely revolutionizing higher education for those striving to achieve for nearly 150 years. We're developing degree programs in partnership with the businesses that will employ the leaders of tomorrow. Now, we're bringing this high-quality education online, so you can study anywhere at any time. The future belongs to the brave. Let's be brave together. Learn more now at maryville.edu/online.
At Wassa Homes, we understand building a home may seem complicated and stressful. That's why we created a simple 3-step building process, so you don't have to feel confused or overwhelmed. We've been building homes for 50 years, and our customers know at Wassa Homes we build your way with a firm price and on time. 100% panelized construction and 100% custom. Start the process by visiting us online at wassahomes.com to see our floor plans.
Welcome into the Maryville Saints Intermission Report, brought to you by Wausau Homes. Todd Panula along with you. After 40 minutes of play, the McKendree Bearcats still have their 2-goal lead, but the scoreline has changed. It is now 3-1 in favor of McKendree. It was another interesting period for the Maryville Saints as they managed to again get a few offensive chances. In fact, 2 of their best chances of the contest probably came in this second period, as they had a few counterattacking chances, but ultimately they weren't able to get too much in the way of offensive zone time, and a lot of that was because McKendree had the power play for 4 minutes out of the 20 in that second period, with Maryville unfortunately surrendering the lone goal to McKendree on the power play. That one came by Burbich at 12:52 of the period with the man advantage. And as we talked about with Coach Hogan during that period, it was a disappointing result because Maryville had done a very good job throughout the first 90 seconds or so of that power play. Might have been a little bit less. but ultimately they had done a good job of killing it off to that point. And then all of a sudden McKendree comes in. They get a seeing eye shot as Burbage came in just about 5 feet or so in from the blue line, flung one towards goal. You have to figure that she was just trying to put it on target, look for a rebound, maybe a deflection. It ended up going off a skate, maybe even two, as Coach said. But ultimately it ended up in the back of the net. It was a 3-0 lead, but a good answer for Maryville. As late in the period at 18:47, it was Paige Stelzer who was able to jam one home just before the net was dislodged. The referees had to kind of go over by the circle and discuss things, try to confer as to when that puck would have crossed the line and when they blew it dead, because the whistle did come, but there was no indication of a goal initially. Ultimately, they did give Maryville that late goal, and that brings us to our scoreline of 3-1. So again, another decent 20 minutes of play for your Maryville Saints. They just haven't been able to string a bunch together thus far. We'll see what they can do in the third period, potentially carrying some momentum with that late goal. And that is going to be all key if they want to try to tie this one up and maybe even get it into overtime, maybe get it into regulation win. But it's going to take a very, very good third period from your Maryville Saints. That'll just about do it for our intermission report. We thank you for watching. This has been brought to you by Wausau Homes. Don't go too far, though. We've got the third period of action coming up on the Maryville Saints Hockey Network.
Welcome back, Flower. We're very excited to show you what we have here. The new access line, more powerful rebounds, lightweight construction, all designed in Canada, of course.
This is a message for those who once tried to get a degree, but didn't, who face their future and their fears. Here at Maryville University, we've been recognizing brave students like you for nearly 150 years. It's for you that we're developing our degree programs in partnership with the businesses that will employ the leaders of tomorrow. And now we're bringing it online because it's hard to get a degree. But if you're brave, you can do anything. Let's be brave together. Learn more now at maryville.edu/online.
Moneta may be one of the nation's largest independent wealth managers, but what we pride ourselves on most is serving each client like they're part of the family. That's why we go to extraordinary lengths to help our clients reach their unique financial goals. Whether launching a business, providing retirement planning for employees, or building a multi-generational legacy. At Moneta, whatever you cherish, we help protect it today, tomorrow, and into the future.
There's two types of drivers out there. Drivers who know how to protect their investment and drivers who don't. Car owners who know how to get more miles per gallon and owners who don't. We're talking people who know their Schaefer and people who don't. Which one are you? From cars to trucks to diesel workhorses, whatever you drive, there's a Schaefer synthetic oil for you. Do you know your Schaefer? Ask for it at an automotive retailer near you.
Hi, I'm Ethan Mahalicek, and I'm a game design major from St. Louis, Missouri. I decided on game design because it was something that new that they were offering at Maryville. It was kind of an addition to the interactive design program, and when they offered it, I hopped right on board. I've always loved video games, and so I figured why not try to make them. The professors have helped me build up to where I'm at the moment in a variety of ways, but one of the most important and influential, I think, has been them pushing me to take projects that I've done and push them to their limits. Here at Maryville, it's required as a design student that you do at least one internship. I kind of went a little bit beyond that and have done 3 at this point, or I'm currently in my 3rd. I'd say my favorite part about the program is that it's still kind of small at the moment, and so that allows for a really close connection with the professors and fellow students in the classroom, and a lot of involved work in the classroom. So there's a lot of collaboration that goes on, a lot of, helping each other. If you're interested in game design, and even more so interested in Maryville, why not stop by, take a tour, and see what we're all about.
I'll start with a split squat, and then followed by that will be a series of different kinds of jumps and movements that'll try and get off the ground as quickly as possible.
So before workouts, I roll out for probably 10 minutes max. After I go through my rolling routine, I'll generally go into a dynamic warm-up, and then I'll head to the gym and start my workout.
I pair hurdle hops after a different leg exercise, like a squat or a split squat. So you get the strength part, and then after you do the strength part and you're loaded with weight, you come over here and you're trying to be light on your feet and quick off the ground to, again, increase your explosiveness and speed on the ice.
Welcome back, Flower. We're very excited to show you what we have here. The new access line, more powerful rebounds, lightweight construction, all designed in Canada, of course.
At Wassa Homes, we understand building a home may seem complicated and stressful. That's why we created a simple 3-step building process, so you don't have to feel confused or overwhelmed. We've been building homes for 50 years, and our customers know at Wassa Homes we build your way with a firm price and on time. 100% panelized construction and 100% custom. Start the process by visiting us online at wassahomes.com to see our floor plans.
Welcome back to the Maryville University Hockey Center. Just about set for third period action between the McKendree Bearcats and your Maryville Saints. I want to thank Coach Hogan for joining us in the second period. He had to run, so you're back to just me along the call in this period, but we thank him for taking some time out to discuss what's going on with the program and give a little insight into that second period as well, as he did a very good job on the color commentary. Maryville still with everything to play for here in this potentially final 20 minutes of play. 3-1 is your score, so all it takes is one good bounce for Maryville to really get this game into nail-biting territory. But they've got to get that next one, because if you fall down by 3 again, that's some tough sledding to try to come back in this third period. But a 2-goal deficit, not without the realm of possibility. As we talked about during the pregame show, both of these teams, but especially focusing on the Maryville side, since this is a Maryville broadcast, both of these teams are more than capable of knocking off some of the big programs within this Division I conference and what have you, because we've seen Maryville, they held their own with a very tough Lindenwood team. It ultimately ended up a 6-3 loss in that first game of the season, but it was a good comeback effort for Maryville. They managed to make a good game out of it. Just an empty net goal made the scoreline look a little bit less desirable, but they've had 2 3-2 losses to Midland, who is in the top 5 in terms of rankings right now, or record, I should say, anyway, as this one goes out of play into the Maryville bench. And the same can be said of McKendree as well, because they had a very close 2-1 loss against Lindenwood last weekend. But similar to Maryville, they've struggled to find the wins here this season, with their lone 2 victories coming against this Maryville team. And even then, the score lines on those weren't really all that bad. With McKendree getting a 4-2 win last weekend or not even the weekend, it was a Wednesday game. As this one is steered in towards goal. Maryville cuts it out on the way through. Poissant picks it up off the far boards, crosses the red line, gets into the attacking zone, and then gives it up. But, well, I suppose by the letter of the law that would have been offside. It seems like they've kind of tried to change that rule to where if you're in full possession of the puck and your body crosses before the puck does, it's still considered onside. And nobody else was there for Maryville, but nevertheless, sometimes things are a little bit different in college, so a delayed offside forced Poissant to exit the zone. Back into the attack come the Maryville Saints, but McKendree collects it. It's given away as it's pilfered off by O'Brien. She sends one through the crease, but no harm, no foul. Maryville with possession right along the blue line, but Greenfield couldn't get it around the player. Onto the attack comes Scully. Actually, that's Davis as Scully joins her. The puck goes off the side of the goal, and then it's rimmed around. Davey in from the blue line, puts one in towards the slot. Davis was there to pick it up. Partial line change going on right now for McKendree. Davey put one once again through the top of the crease, but no harm. A little over 2 minutes into the period, in what's a 2-goal game. Gerwitz hammers one towards the near side, but Leone meets it. Gerwitz with another opportunity. Space out in front, up towards center, but it exploded off the stick of Oderman. Back the other way, it's around everybody, but they wave off icing. Up the far wall, it's off the skate of Oderman, and then the shot from the slot ended up going wide of the goal. Oderman trying to jab it out of the zone, as was Stelzer. She's got the lone goal of the evening. Brawley from the far corner lifts one up. And they're going to say no icing, that Davis had an opportunity to play it. So Davey back in her own zone, pushes one up, and then it's given away to Poisson. But she was unable to get a clean handle on it. Flock tosses it into the offensive zone. Buffalt chases it down. Guided in. Poissant from the corner. Again offers skates. Hasn't been able to take a pass very cleanly thus far in this period. Now shot in just wide off the stick of Burbage. She's looking for another one. Popped up high into the air and hit the netting, so that'll draw the whistle. Clock stopped with 16:25 to go here in the period. Shots 21-15. So we have played about 3.5 minutes here in the period. Neither team has had an official shot on goal because it was 21-15 after the second period as well. Smothers sweeps one towards goal, and that ends up wide right off the faceoff. Jabbed up towards the blue line. Poisson can't clear. Johnson dives after it, and she comes up empty as well. Brawley sends it up to the blue line. Poisson taps it. Flock onto the puck. But surrounded by 3 purple jerseys, and McKendree will have it. Into the neutral zone, Suzuki back checks. Gives it over to Leone, just on the north side of the red line, and bangs it in. Gerwitz chases it down. Smothers tried to wall her off, unsuccessful in doing so. It's off the heels of O'Brien. She gives it over to O'Leary, who gains the zone on the near wing. Wrister! She was going to the 5-hole, but there was a bit too much air under that puck. Now Gerwitz with a shooting lane. Off a skate in front. A scramble play. And then it's just underneath the toes of Gerwitz, so it'll clear out. 15.5 to go. O'Leary steals it in. Oderman tries to chase it down, and she guides it past Atchison. Stelzer, a little jab. Knock that puck loose. Oderman from the corner. She was pushed off along the wall. Stelzer once again jabs it loose. Poisson. It's just a step too slow as McKendree was able to get it around. Bearcats trying to find some open space here on the near wing. Denied a second and third time. Finally lifted out towards center. Maryville had some pressure going, and now here's a counterattack for the Bearcats. Possession traded back and forth in the offensive zone for McKendree. Maryville was changing their lines, and this is going to be interesting to see who they tell to come back out on the ice. As the linesman called the icing, tried to get over there, but based on where the puck was, there were some players that got in onto the bench. So I think that's one of those plays that it's kind of your own honor in terms of who you put back out on the ice. Wraparound attempt, and they score! That's one that Duncan would like to have back as it sneaks just underneath the blocker and over the right pad. She was in position to make the save, but there was just the tiniest of gaps between that blocker and the post, and it sneaks in. It's 4-1. Cheney Smothers scores the goal at 5:33. So as we've said throughout this game, Maryville has had some good shifts. They've had some pressure here and there, a couple counterattacking opportunities, but it's just those few mistakes that they've made that almost always seem to end up in the back of the net here tonight. Rolling puck over towards the far corner, picked up by Wasserman as she slides it up the boards. Intercepted by Atchison. She puts it out in front, looking for Scully, but Gurwitz was able to get a stick onto it. Puck parries back and forth, and now into the offensive zone for Poisson. She gets into the circle and then shoots just wide. Now O'Brien on the backhand. Again, just too many defensive players around. Every time Maryville gets into the offensive zone, it feels like they're outmanned. In terms of the numbers, anyway. Big collision here on the near side, and that's going to put Gurwitz into the box. And I think that was just kind of frustration building up for one of the alternate captains. So Gurwitz didn't even complain about it, and you know that she just kind of needed to let some steam off. And those are the rules that you have to play by. There's no clear body checking allowed in women's hockey. There's a debate to be had about the validity of that rule, but that's what everybody has to play by. So, I mean, it's equal all sides around. But part of the enjoyment of hockey at any level, really, is some of the physicality. Obviously, you don't want to be getting hits from behind and some of the stuff that needs to be eliminated from the game, the dirtier side of the game. But it seems like good, clean physicality, there shouldn't be any problem, whether it's men or women. That's for other people to decide. Right now, it's a third power play of the game for McKendree. They are 1 for 2 thus far. Brought up the middle. Koch looking for Smothers, but the pass was too far behind her. And Stelzer will rim it around the boards as it ricochets into the far corner. Koch tried to hand it off, I think, but miscommunication between her and Davey. Davey up the zone to Leone. Cutting up through neutral ice in the left wing. Lost the puck for a moment, but regains. Suzuki with a wrister right into the breadbasket as Duncan makes her 19th save of the evening. Still 1:02 left on the penalty to Gurwitz. Face-off taken by McKendree, but the Saints end up with it, and it's lifted out. O'Brien, or check that, O'Leary. And on the forecheck, Bearcats working around through the neutral zone as they've got the extra space due to the extra skater. Good steal by O'Leary, but she can't clear it. From the end line, they were centering for Burbage, not quite there, and now here comes Maryville with a counter-attacking opportunity. It's O'Leary and O'Brien skating into the offensive end. O'Leary with a wrist shot. It goes off the glove. Rebound chance. Oh, baby, what a save by Burke. And she keeps Maryville off. Very close to the second goal of the game for Maryville as they're still shorthanded. What a momentum swing that could have been if they had been able to steer that rebound in, but acrobatic goaltending work by Brianna Burke. 24 seconds left until Gerwitz can exit the box. Pafalt is tied up as Poisson did a good job off the faceoff. Lifted up towards the blue line, settled down by Scully as she gets into the offensive end. Cross ice pass, Davis is open, shot in just wide under the blocker. Davis leaves for Burbage, skates up towards the circle. Rink wide with it. A shot in, and Duncan had no idea where that one was at, so lucky for her, it hits the end wall. Just about 9 minutes played here in the third period. Davis avoids the poke check of Gerwitz. Second opportunity, and she was able to pick her pocket. Up through the neutral zone. This one will be an icing, and they will call it. Johnson had her skate kind of taken out from underneath her. Not sure if she hit a rut or the stick. But the few family members that are allowed in attendance here tonight didn't really like that icing call. But the officials, they're never going to win favor with the crowd on icings when it's a race to the puck, especially now that it's this hybrid no-touch rule. Off the draw, Gerwitz trying to slip it up the boards. Johnson will look for an escape route on the far side. This one is going to clear. Poisson with a nice little tap pass to Flock. She puts on the brakes, picks up the loose puck after over-skating, just a stride. Put in on goal, but that one was a long shot, not really troubling the goaltender. Flock was looking to head off to the bench. Kept alive momentarily by Poisson, but then punched out towards center. Second opportunity. Unable to get control of it as Koch circles around. Poisson on the forecheck. Joined by Stelzer. McKendree gets it into the offensive end. For a moment it sounded like there was a whistle, but play is not blown dead. Gerwitz in a tussle with Scully. Coming over to help is Oderman. Nevertheless, it's Davis in front. Etchison fanned on the one-time chance from the slot. Davis from the circle. Shot in off the chest of Duncan, and she's able to hold on. And now we get a little bit of extracurricular activity after the whistle. Doesn't seem like any disciplinary action will be handed out. So we'll stay 5 aside with 9:35 to go here in the third. These two teams will play each other once again tomorrow evening, but the schedule has been changed. For those of you who are unaware, tomorrow's game will be played at McKendree. It was originally scheduled to be 2 home games here at the Hockey Center. Instead, it's a home-and-home affair. Bearcats jab it up the zone, but not out, as it was walled off by O'Brien. Aaron does the same thing on the near wing. Greenfield swept it into the slot. Nobody home for Maryville. Off the linesman. So he just kind of gives a chuckle. Aaron overskated. Leone brings it into the offensive end for McKendree. All the way. One-timer for Atchison out in front. Duncan made the save. And then it takes an odd hop off the side of the net. Came right into the glove of Sawyer Duncan, and she's able to hold it into the trapper. Third period in a row in which Maryville has managed to keep the shot totals relatively close. thus far, it is 4-4. But Maryville just hasn't been able to capitalize on their offensive chances, except for that one late second period goal. Long shot in was actually knocked down by the McKendree player. Scully was the one to get a piece of it. Trickled in towards goal and ultimately covered up by Duncan again. 8:23 left to go here in the third period. 4-1 your score. McKendree's goal scorers are Davis, Scully, Burbich, and Smothers. The lone goal scorer for Maryville is Stelzer. So 4-1 as the clock stops again with 8:17 to go. We talked about with Coach Hogan. It's been tough sledding for this Maryville women's program this first season. They got a little bit of a late start in terms of recruiting, had a shorthanded roster. They've had some injury problems mid-season as well. And just a lot of bad luck in that front too. Missed a couple games due to both goaltenders having some injuries. Emily Shaw has taken the worst of that as she overcame one injury, and then in her first action back, picked up another injury. So she's still trying to fight that off as Duncan fights off a chance from the doorstep. Smothers was denied by the sprawling goaltender. But right now, Maryville's just trying to kind of hang in there and try to pick up their first victory of the season. Stelzer with the interception on the way through the middle. But again, two Bearcats are back to deny any chance. Off the side of the goal, Burke was wise and ultimately covered up the loose puck. That'll be an offensive zone face-off for Maryville. They've done a decent job winning the draws here this evening, but haven't been able to get enough offensive chances based on those, as we see another face-off one, and then the shot ends up wide. It's kind of difficult because they're winning the face-offs, but they're not necessarily steered in the direction that you would need. There's a loose puck along the far side of the goal, chopped over towards the near wing. Aaron had it just jabbed past her. But more to the point, you see it a lot of times in the NHL. If you can get a good face-off win, you kind of want to steer it to the side where there's going to be a shooting lane immediately off the draw. And unfortunately for Maryville, oftentimes when they've won these face-offs, it's gone over towards either the winger or the defender that's going to have that shooting lane taken away by pressing players almost immediately after they gain possession. So it's just kind of one of those things where they've had some bad puck luck, despite some good things that they've done. As I mentioned, winning those face-offs in the first place, that's kind of key. You got to set yourself up with that win, but it just hasn't necessarily gone the direction that they would like. Gerwitz has the loose puck, tried to lift it up off the glass. It was gloved down by Leone. Smothers gives it right back. Up the zone, Poisson chops it down. This one's kind of rolling on end. And they will call it an icing. That was another one that could have been won by Maryville, but that one's more of an icing call in terms of the Maryville fans than the previous one was. But again, the officials siding on erring on the side of caution, I should say. .5:37 left to go here in the period. Davis lifts the stick of Gerwitz. O'Brien tried to sauce one up the boards. He was able to get that one out. Pafalt will chase it down. No icing here. Greenfield on the forward check. It's passed around to the near wing. Picking up speed through center is Davis, now far side. just outside the circle. Good defensive positioning by Brawley. She's able to punch that one out of the zone. Right back in, though, as Maryville was trying to cross, and a late whistle there. It's going to be an offside call, but interesting to see the delay on that whistle ultimately by the linesman. So Maryville going with Flock, Arend, Johnson, and Poisson, as well as Brawley on the other defensive. Off the skates of Poisson, she's able to pick up the steal, gets around one defender, Flock onto the backhand, scoops one through, but not on target. Poisson around one defender, tries to swat a pass over to the far circle. Johnson was there, but just no space available. Brawley puts it back. It's offside. No whistle, though, as McKendree was not in charge of the puck. Johnson on the counter. Gets some open space on the near wing. Puts one off the right pad. She got the rebound, but McKendree with a good job defending it. Gerwitz kicks it up towards the blue line, but it's corralled there by Leone. Into the zone, but not for long. Maryville with it back at their own line. Wasserman sidesteps a man, and then the puck just slips away from her. Picked up by Maryville at the red line, given away at the blue line. Scully sidesteps the stick of Stelzer. And then the back check from Flock is able to dispossess that puck. And we'll get another whistle. I believe we've got an offside again. .352 to go here. 4-1 your score. McKendree has led from the get-go. They scored 84 seconds into the game, and they have never surrendered that lead. Johnson ran into Burbage, got the puck around her, but that was enough to disrupt that flow. Good step up from Gerwitz. Gained the puck for a moment, but it was ultimately sent out. Wasserman gains the zone now, wrists one towards goal. It's a toe save, rebound. Another toe save, and then the rebound for Wasserman, just put wide of the cage. 3 good chances for Maryville, and unfortunately, as we've said all evening long, just unable to capitalize. O'Leary up her off wing, picking up speed, takes a bit of a chop there. Arm goes up for the official, and Maryville will have their first power play of the evening. Tripping was the call, and into the box is Cameron Scully. 3:04 left to go here. And if you're Maryville, you'd really like to get a goal here with the man advantage. Give yourself some momentum, maybe an opportunity to pull the goaltender. The timeout is going to be taken by Coach Tommy Lang. He wants to draw something up on the whiteboard. Obviously, winning the faceoff is going to be key. But these timeouts are to give your team options. If you win the faceoff, you do this, this, and this. If you lose it, here's what we got to do to get back into the offensive zone quickly. Been a solid game overall for Maryville. They're going to be disappointed with the scoreline. There's one goal, at least. As a goaltender, you might say 2 or 3 that Sawyer Duncan would like to have back. But that's just the goaltender's mentality. Anytime you see the puck, you think that you have an opportunity to stop it, so you're disappointed with the fact that you didn't. But from a broadcaster's point of view, there's really only the one clear chance that you probably should have had, and that's the one that just kind of snuck in under the blocker here in the third period. But Coach Lang is going to go for broke here as he's pulled the goaltender on this power play. Gerwitz takes a shot. That was knocked down with a high stick, but Maryville's the next team to touch it, so all bets are off. Poisson from the near circle. Space was in front, but she elected to dust it off a couple times. And the centering pass was denied. Maryville will have to chase it down. Leone coming in, sees that gaping net in front of her, trying to jab this one loose. Instead, Maryville gets it up the near wing. Johnson brings it in on the attack from the circle. Shot in, toe save, and Stelzer was there for the rebound, but it never came to her. Poisson on the half wall. Wrister! That was knocked down in front by the defender. Atchison trying to get it out. She will clear the zone. Fortunately for Maryville, they're going to go off on a change, but now Koch with some speed. She's going to get to this puck first. A centering pass. But Maryville came back and was able to get that loose change. Now back in onto the attack. Stelzer with a bad angle chance, and that's scooped up by Burke with the trapper. So far, the gamble has worked out for Maryville, but they're not willing to keep that up as Duncan will come back into the pipes. Still a man advantage for Maryville. 54 seconds left on their power play. 1:58 left to go in the game. Good face-off win by Stelzer. Wasserman tosses it towards the corner as the Saints set it up. Behind the goal now to Johnson, looking back out in front, but miscommunication, and that's that miscommunication that Coach Hogan was talking about in the second period that just comes from time together, which is something that Maryville has not had. And a lot of that you can kind of chalk up to the COVID protocols and everything. For the longest time in the offseason prior to the first game, they weren't even able to have full practices, so players didn't get a chance to know each other on or off the ice. So it's kind of a strange learning curve here for Maryville, as it's basically been just get out on the ice during a game and hope for the best. A shot came in from Gurwitz, and that was denied. A late pad save made by Burke, and she had a good reaction there. Puck stolen away as we're back to 5-on-5, and now here's an odd man break here for the Bearcats as they try to slide in. Good play by Gurwitz as she was able to wall off the player and the puck and deny that chance in towards the zone. In front, they were looking for Smothers. Not quite there. Davey will toss one towards goal. Was deflected on the way through, but ultimately a stick save made by Duncan. Back out towards center ice, under 30 seconds to go, 23 to be exact. Gurwitz will skate it around Davey, who's coming in from the blue line. Stelzer's on the puck now for Maryville as they reverse it to the far side. O'Leary looks to get it. And backhands it into the offensive end. 4 seconds left. One more chance for the Bearcats. Flung in towards goal. Not too much steam behind that one. But ultimately another victory. The third of the season for McKendree. And all three have come against Maryville. So the losses continue to mount for the Maryville Saints. They are still seeking out that first victory of the season. Unfortunately, despite a really good effort overall, it's still a goose egg up on the board for these ladies. So they gather at their respective blue lines, salute each other, and those fortunate enough to be in attendance, mainly family members. But McKendree is going to pick up another victory with a final score of 4-1. And 9 shots in that third period for Maryville, but they couldn't get the goal. Only 6 shots on goal in the third for McKendree, but they do add one. Ends up being just an insurance score, as they already had a 2-goal lead, and ultimately they end up with a 3-goal victory. So a disappointing night for your Maryville Saints. They fall once again. Coach Tommy Lang will have some words for his troops in the locker room, and they'll try to find that magic connection that picks up the first win of the season. They came achingly close last weekend with a tough loss to Midland. They thought they were going to be able to build upon that, and they did in terms of the style of play. You have to give credit where credit is due. The Saints had a very good first few shifts. Unfortunately, there was a puck that ended up in the back of the net 84 seconds in, and that really kind of took some wind out of their sails. Maryville started to build up some pressure again, and another turnover led to an odd man rush, and Scully was able to get that one in the back of the net. That ultimately ended up as the game winner. That one came way back at 4:15 of the first period. A third goal for McKendree came on the power play at 12:52 of the second period, but then Paige Stelzer would answer, giving Maryville a little bit of hope at 18:47, but Smothers smothered that, aptly named in terms of her actions, and ultimately the fourth goal of the game would seal it for McKendree. That'll just about do it for our broadcast. Make sure to stay tuned to this YouTube channel. We will hopefully be bringing you a post-game wrap-up, and we'll see if Coach Tommy Lang will join us as well. But until the next time, these two teams will face each other tomorrow evening. The schedule says 5:30, but I'm pretty sure that's been changed to a 7 o'clock puck drop. Make sure to check out the social media pages for Maryville Saints women's hockey for official confirmation on that. But the game is definitely tomorrow. It will be played at McKendree, so we will not have a broadcast for you. And we will hope to see you the next time. For everybody here, we once again thank Coach Hogan for joining us in the second period. For Eric, turning things behind the scenes, I'm Todd Panula. This has been Maryville Saints Hockey.